Okay, so if you had a chance to bring back any scientist from history and have a beer with that person, who would it be, and what would you talk about?
Oh, I would say Darwin.
Okay.
Yeah, Charles Darwin, and it would be about what kind of struggle did he go through to come up with his theory of natural selection? How transparent was it to him with all the evidence he was gathering versus how uncertain was he about it?
Huh. So it's interesting you picked the word struggle. He liked to use the word struggle too, right? He's
Right. Yes.
iconic for choosing that word. So what in
Right.
particular is it being on the Beagle and the difficult life of being a naturalist at that point in history?
Yeah.
Or what
Yeah. So,
what part?
sort of like being on at the same time actually being out there, going through the hardships of travel and so forth, especially at that time, and seeing all these new things that he hasn't seen before, plus whatever he knows. And was it like a Eureka moment he had where everything came together,
Mm-hmm.
or was it after painstaking effort and a slow, methodical effort over the years that then led to a slow transformation as opposed to a Eureka moment?
Okay. What do you think he would say? So we're not going to have time unless you want to turn this into a 3 or 4 hour conversation. I don't know that we're going to have time today to talk about the all vertebrates sequencing effort that you're making with all vertebrate genomes. What would he say though with the tools that we have available now? I mean, his conception of genetics was so fundamentally different that alone would blow him away. But what do you think he would go for, having the tools that you have access to?
I think he would wonder, how far can we go with genetics alone? Does that explain? I think he'd be perplexed, right? Does this DNA that we're talking about now really explain his theory, or does it change it in ways that he didn't expect?
Mm-hmm.
And having the genome sequences of all vertebrate species like we're trying to work on, or even all species of all life on the planet, that's not something I had imagined that would be possible in my lifetime 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So whether he imagined that be the case or not, he may not even be thinking about that.
Right. It's hard to conceive what scientists 100 years, 150 years from now will be thinking of. I mean, how advanced
Right.
the technology has become just since his time. So I got to
Right.
be honest, I kind of expected your answer to this question to be Imhotep. I just had read your current biology biopic a little while ago. So Darwin over Imhotep, or maybe all three together?
Yeah, who would be the third?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the two of them together be the third? I mean,
Yeah.
people would have,
All
some
of you
people
guys
would
together,
pick
yeah.
more contemporary, like Einstein or something like that. Yeah, no, I remember when I did that interview, well, it's sort of a semi-written interview. Yeah, I selected Imhotep because back in college I learned a lot about him and how even more so than Darwin, he was challenged with even lesser knowledge than we had back in the 1800s, and really came up with a lot of discoveries, more in the, let's say, in the engineering physics domain than anything else, but came up with a lot of discoveries that I think changed human society from there on.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I would go back to that time as well, BC time, and think, what was going on in your mind?
Yeah,
And what was
imagine his
really happening in
response to the
society around
opportunity
you.
to sequence genomes. What would that talk about?
Yeah, that's
Perception
right.
magic.
Right.
Wow.